We're live. We got your tools.
My favorite Martian, remember?
Yeah, I do. Oh gosh.
Frankenstein,
Yeah,
unicorn.
yeah. So,
Well, let me know when you want me to start
yeah,
talking about the demonstration.
I'll go run the intro.
All right. Boy, it's nice out.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's supposed to be humid as hell. And then Sunday is supposed to be real humid.
All right. You are on.
Hi, everybody.
See
We're
if we
back
got it.
deep in the tundra.
Ah, John's with us. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Pat's with us too. Hi, Pat. She says hi, Lisa and Bud.
Hi, hi. Everybody getting ready for the 4th of July weekend? I'm just staying home, drinking, taking it easy. We were
Frank
invited.
Garcia's with us too.
Hey, Frank. We were invited to a couple places, but I don't know. I guess I'm not ready yet.
That's okay. It's a tricky time right now, I think. Vicky's with us. Hi, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky. We're going to show you. There's been a lot of people ask about this edging, and I just want to show you a little bit about it. The edging is for bricks, is what it's mainly for, but we're kind of using it for our pathway. It's a nice edge. It's flexible. Let me show you some stuff before I put it down. One of the things about this edging, it's got a little, and I'll show you how it goes together, but one end's got this. Is that jackass?
Hey,
Sorry.
Hey, you're live.
Yeah, I know, and that guy's gonna be wouldn't be alive if somebody walked out in front of him.
Well,
Anyway, this has got a piece of plastic on it. That's probably why. But it's got a little clip that they clip together like this.
oh, whoa, slow down so I can actually.
Well, it's bad, Lisa, because it's got a freaking piece of plastic on it.
Oh,
You can't see it because it doesn't look like anything. Anyway, it clips together, and I'll show you down here. But one of the cool things, these are the spikes that go in it.
spikes.
12-inch spikes.
Okay.
One of the cool things about this is if you have a super weird curve you can do, that's these strips in here you can cut, and then that way it's flexible where you can turn it better, or if you had to go together like this, either way, so you can cut those in several ways to make a really tight circle if you needed to. This stuff's really nice, and it's very heavy duty thick.
We rarely cut though.
No,
'cause it's got pliability.
Yeah, it's got pretty good pliability. So what you're going to do with this edging, and I'll show you right here. If you want to come, I'll show you how it connects.
You want me to come closer?
Yeah, I guess they would be nice because they can't see anything.
All right.
See, this is the connect, and this is the same thing. It's got a piece of plastic in it. Anyway, the piece before it, you don't want to pound the stake down because it'll be a pain to get it together, and you can see how it connects right there. So then what I'm going to do is take my hammer and pound this down. And then I'm going to put one in here. And I'll probably put one here. Well, we got our trusty measuring stick. This is how we kind of measure to see where we're at, and we're pretty good here. We want to be a little bit farther than that. So I'm going to kind of put this down here about like that. I'm going to put another spike. Lisa and I don't know what the rule of thumb is for how often do you put a spike, how often do you not put a spike, but we like to put a couple in right here, and then we kind of measure this, and I'll take a couple down here. We'll go down here in the end, a little bit farther. One of the things that we have to be careful of here is we can't go super deep because of this right here.
I don't know if I'll be able to see that.
These are white pine roots. You can see it up here better probably.
Yeah.
They're all over here. They're huge. So we're not going to be able to take this down as deep as we did the other stuff. So, you know, that's just the way this part of the pathway is going to be. This tree, I'll tell you a little bit of history of this. This is a Douglas fir. Now, I transplanted this, and you can see I transplanted this in probably 81. And you can see how big it is. Now, come over here, Lisa, real quick. We're going to, just side note. This is a white pine. I planted that white pine tree probably in about 40 years ago, and it was probably about this long. And you can see, look at the size of the trunk on that thing.
We'll go stand up there so we get a...
That is a massive trunk. The white pine.
Mm-hmm.
It's massive. It's just huge. This tree we haven't cleaned out yet. We cleaned the other white pine out. Took 2 truckloads of branches out of it. So be careful, I got stuff laying all over hell here. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is come over here kinda and see where we're at and bring this edging kinda about the same. It was about right here. I'm just gonna put this stake in right now here like this, and you can push them in a little bit to there. But now what you got to do is, you know, that isn't just like, oh yeah, that looks all right to me. Well, you got to make sure the curve is really good too.
I'll go back. I'm going to walk over here.
And I don't think the curve is right where we want it. I think it needs to.
I'm going to get back a little bit so we can see.
Needs to go out a little bit.
Curve. This has been my job, making the curves, so this is kind of new for him. But I'm the camera girl this evening, so there you go.
She's showing the curve of my ass tonight, but anyway. I'm going to pull this up.
One thing that we should mention, since we're using this edging that's a brick edging to actually line our pathways, you could still use it to line your bed.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. But instead of having, let me get it down here. Instead of having the edging, this part going out towards our pathway, if you wanted to use this to line a bed, boy, it's hard for me to do this at the same time, then you would just take this and flip it so that this right angle would be going this way.
Yeah, you put that to the outside instead of the inside.
But since we're actually using it to both line our beds and also line our pathway, we're choosing to do it with the right angle going
and that may be
way.
You know, hopefully it won't be a mistake with us compacting it down, but I don't think so. And if you were to ever lay bricks in here, you would do it the opposite way, just like what Lisa said. You would take this and you'd put it this way, just like this. And then the bricks would come up to here, which is what we did over there when we laid the bricks. We put it in this way. And when we redo our brick patio over here, we'll kind of walk this way to go up. Well, no, we probably won't. But anyway, when we go to redo the brick patio, we're going to be using this in different aspects of laying the bricks. And Lisa was absolutely elated when I said, well, I think we should tear the whole patio up, because, you know, we were trying to not, you know, I was of the opinion from the get-go to tear the whole thing up. And we were both talking a little bit about, well, maybe we could tear like 10 rows over or whatever. And I'm just thinking that we need to start fresh and just lay the patio all brand new, because it's going to have a different kind of feel to it and stuff like that. Once we get our edging down and get the base, we'll put a lot of ag lime down and compact it and that. But what we're going to do, instead of having the ag lime in between it, we're going to put this, the asphalt fines, like that's going to be the top couple inches of this. We're going to brush that in between the bricks so it ties in the same color is tied in through our brick patio. So if that makes sense. But anyway, let me finish this. What I want to do, what we do is, I'll come back here now, and about every third hole we put a spike. I don't know, oh, I must have hit a root there. That one ain't coming out. Anyway, I don't know if that's the way to do it or what, but that's the way we do it.
Vicky said it sounds cool.
What, the hitting the
We hope we're making some sense.
hitting the nails?
I just really like using this brick edging a lot better than that.
Valley View edging.
What's it called?
Valley View.
Valley View edging?
You can buy edging now. She doesn't like Valley View edging, and what I'm talking
Can't
about
make a good curve on it.
is the edging with the round top, and it's probably about about 4 inches high, and it's got a V in the bottom that you pound a
Yeah,
flat
that's the
spike
thing I'm
through.
talking about. I don't like that because it's too flimsy.
That edging, the Valley View edging, if you're going to choose to put that down around your landscape, you know, not the pathway, but around your landscape, I'm telling you, don't go to Walmart, don't go to Menards, don't go to Home Depot, don't go to the big box stores. You need to go to a nursery because they have the edging. It's more expensive, but I guarantee you it isn't going to be wobbly like this and be cheap. It's the better edging. It's
Ann's has got all that stuff.
Yep, Ann's has it. Larry McCormick has it. You know, go there because it's better. And that's where we get this brick edging, Ann's, because she sells all the hardscapes stuff, so she has this brick edging.
It's just so interesting watching you pound.
Whatever. Talk to the hand.
What?
And we have all sorts of different tools. Like we have, Lisa is probably the connoisseur of Edward Scissorhand pruners and scissors and that. I'm the one of choppers. I call these choppers. This thing's pretty dirty because it was muddy the other day, but this one I've had for a while. I don't like it as much. It's heavy to be able to chop with, but it's really good to drag and to try to get stuff flat. So I've got this chopper. My favorite chopper's in there, and I've showed you that before. Now Lisa likes this one, and this one is kind of nice too. It's different because it's got a little prong thing on it, plus then it's got a little chopper on it. And if you put an edge on that, you know, you could really chop stuff with it. But we use it like this a lot, and then to loosen the soil with a rake. And then I have this is real old. This is originally my dad's. It broke. But I like keeping it this way. It's a little bit longer, but it's great for loosening soil. Or in my raised beds where I don't have to have something real long and bend over, I can break up the clods real easy with this. So I keep this. Anyway, we have a bucket full of stuff. So I'll put another spike in here, and that's about probably all I'll do. I'll keep these two up because to do the next one. And now what we're going to have to do, I'll show you this stuff over here. Let me show you this. This is a great, let me get all my equipment because I'll leave the stuff out here and I'll forget about it. Anyway, let me show you this ground cover. I planted about 5 plugs of this maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. We got to get in and pull a few of the weeds. It's really good. This is it's called Sweet Woodruff or Galium ordantum. It's a ground cover. This is the height it gets. It loves the shade, the deep shade like this, and it must love the pine needles because look how it has moved. But we have these seedlings that come up in it, and we try, Lisa and I have been trying to keep it pulled.
Hi, Diane. Diane Rude's with us now.
Hi, Diane. We try to keep these weeds pulled out of here, and it doesn't hurt to walk on it, because when we rebuilt this fence a couple years ago, we walked all over it. And last year, and what I'm going to do is the edging, we're going to have to dig this up, and I'm going to take my spade and get it about that deep, and it'll be like a piece of sod, and we're going to take it and we're going to plant it, you know, move it. Maybe we'll move it over this way or whatever like that, so it can fill in. It's starting to go on the outside of the fence too, which is what we love. But anyway, Lisa and I see all the stuff like this. You don't want this in here. Virginia creeper.
This is deep shade back here too.
Yeah,
you
this
guys,
is, I mean,
so
it gets no direct sunlight.
As you can kind of tell, we don't have much back here because it's just too shady.
And this is the Copper Beech, Weeping Copper Beech. It's really struggled. This year it looks pretty good. Last year we really watered it really well during the season. Laid a hose on it, and I think I let it run all night. But I've had this, a lot of these trees have been planted here a long time. This has probably been in over 30 years. It still has a few dead branches we need to probably clean up a little bit on it. And the Nucatensis has been in probably a little bit longer, probably closer to the 40-year mark than this. But I tell you what, you'll never find a Copper Beech like this now, a weeping one, because they're all real fountainy, and this one is one that's sprawled out. And I just have loved it. But you can see the characteristic of a beech tree. Even the regular beech tree and this weeping one, it looks like elephant skin. It's got that gray look, and that's one of the things, you know, when you're doing your landscape, don't just, I guess, pick the plant out for maybe the flower or whatever. You know, there's all sorts of different things that you can look at, like the foliage texture, the foliage color, the flowers. Does it change color in the spring to summer to fall? You know, and the winter architecture too, because some of the stuff like the Little Henry's Virginia Sweet Spire, the stems are green during the winter. So you even, to me, all that is part of the stuff that I think about when I use the plants in certain landscapes. And that's why I like using Little Henry, because you get a spring flower, you get, I mean, the summer is green, but the fall is a beautiful orange color. And Little Henry is such a versatile plant that'll grow in sun or shade. And if you give it enough room, you should never have to prune it. It's just a great plant. I love using Little Henry. So we're gonna go, I wanna show them what we did
This past week?
just on the wall part, because the other ones, like the miniature one, we're gonna show in another SippinTrip. So I just wanna concentrate kinda on this edge.
Okay.
So
I'll just follow you.
All right. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Oh boy, here we go.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
I've never seen you do that, bud.
That's Gloria Glitter's strut.
Oh yeah, well, you're not in drag and you don't have makeup on, so
Well, I
where's
tell you
Gloria?
what, you may see Gloria Glitter this year.
Oh really?
Yes, Gloria is coming to visit, I think, this fall. But what we did, I'll tell you the story about this, and I won't name any names, so I won't incriminate anybody. But I helped some people out that sold flagstone, planted some big evergreens, spent the whole day there, and I wanted some flagstone to build this wall. Well, I had to get it ready, and this has been years ago. I'm talking probably in the mid-'80s. I wanted to get it ready, so I got it ready, and when I went over to get the flagstone, they sold it all. And I said, well, I got my project. Yeah, you know, I helped you guys do this. Well, you know, we don't have any. Well, I was really kind of, needless to say, a little pissed off.
Carol Spencer says, "Where's your heels?"
I don't do heels. I'll do the
Oh
makeup,
my
but I ain't
gosh,
gonna have no heels.
I'd love to see you in heels. Oh,
But anyway, so what I did is I went to Larry McCormick's nursery, and now this flagstone isn't just regular flagstone, and I'll show you why. Because it's got different colors in it, and you can see there's red, there's white, and Lisa's power sprayed this off, but you can see there's red. This is a good example. It's kind of green, it's kind of blue, and it's kind of red, and it's all throughout here, and the yellow stone is in with it. But what Lisa and I did is we built this wall, rebuilt this part last year, but this week we took the whole wall, rest of the wall that went that way down, and moved it to follow this curve. And you can see how beautiful this stone, what we exposed. I mean, look at the colors in this thing. It's absolutely beautiful to me.
Yeah, we just dug all this up in the yard.
And then Lisa sprayed it,
It's like a treasure hunt.
and we mulched. We planted a few plants and we mulched, but we can't go any farther because we've got to bring in soil for the front yard. So we're kind of at a standstill. But we had to get this done for our pathways. You know, all this stuff is working towards finishing our pathways. And once we get the pathways finished, then we can finish the fence. Once we get the fence finished, then we can go to the front yard or we can do the patio, whichever we want to do.
Yeah, this looks really cool outside of our living room window, which is right there. It's going to be fun.
And we do that. We go in the house. Her and I will go in the house and, oh, look out the kitchen window, which the sink window is a little window there. We'll look out that, or we'll sit in the chair so we look out. And some of the stuff that we've planted in the garden, we didn't want to put anything in the way to be able to see the bed out there. So we really take our time on figuring out what we're going to do and where we're going to put stuff. But this wall was great. I mean, this is...
I'm going to see if I can get at it from a different angle.
And you can see the edging that we have down.
Oh, let me get a shot of that.
We put a little bit on the top of it. So it's really kind of obscured.
It'll be all covered.
Yeah, once we get that fines down. Now you can see there's
The fines
soil.
are going to go right up to the top of that edge.
Lip.
You won't even see the edging. It'll be invisible.
Right, and you can see there's soil here. We moved the edging out, so we're going to bring in some more of this heavy or bigger stone because we've got some edging to fix. Watch the thing behind you.
What thing?
The bench.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the bench.
So we've got to do the pathways in the garden. We've got to rototill them down and get them down low enough to where we can add some of this. And once we get all the thick on, and you can see over here, I might as well take you over here and show you this too. Once we get the heavier stone on, then we'll bring in the small stone. And I tell you what.
Sherry, we will get to your question too. Sherry's got a question.
Okay, and you know what was freaking weird? I swear to God, I went to Menards today, and last week I went in there, and there's hand tampers. We're going to run a compactor on here, but we also need a hand tamper for like tighter corners, like over there, to tamp the stuff down. I swear to God, when I looked last week, there was at least 20 hand tampers there. They had two different sizes, and there was probably 20 to 25 hand tampers. I went back this morning, and there ain't a freaking hand tamper there. Now, you know, the girl at the checkout goes, well, a lot of people have been doing home projects. Now, I can't imagine what the hell anybody would be using a hand tamper at home for, unless it's us, because we need son of a bitch.
We're the only weird ones doing all this stuff.
But I'm thinking some construction company came in and they needed something to, and they had a bunch of people that were going to do stuff. I don't know, but I couldn't freaking believe it. I couldn't get one because the old one that I had for years broke. So anyway, the hand tamper story. And my beer's up there. I need to drink. But anyway,
Dan says, I bet that is really pretty in the winter too. We're hoping so. We're going to put a specific tree in that bed that we were just showing you that turns bright yellow in the winter. Doesn't put on a show during summer. You can maybe talk about
Chief
Joseph.
Chief Joseph is an excellent pine. It doesn't get big. It grows real slow. But and we'll show you the what is it? Icebreaker. We'll show you that too. The colors on that, because we're using, you know, there's a lot of evergreens, but there's colors on it. But this is, I wanted to show you this. We all have to rototill this down, and this we'll be able to rototill down. We'll probably take it down like this far and add some yellow rock, and we'll compact it, and then we'll add some of this darker rock. So there's about 6 inches of rock, because the golf cart's going to be riding on this. So we're going to have it there. It's unfortunate we really can't do that over there with all those big pine roots in it, but I think it'll be all right. That'll be the only section. But
yeah, this is just the rough end of the pathway, the golf cart pathway, I guess.
To the front yard.
To the front yard. So
we have no clue exactly where it's going to go.
No, we don't really know where it's going.
But
we'll get there though.
Yeah.
It's the road to right now.
Right. Well, let's go up on the deck. Other stuff. Chief Joseph, and Chief doesn't look like much right now, but the things like this, you know, this is a pine, but look at it. It's not your regular pine. It's called a curly needle. Now it's silver. If you really, it's it's really a nice plant. And this I planted probably, I would say it was probably 86, 87. And it's got a nice trunk too. And it was probably about 5 feet tall when I got it. The guy sold it to me for 20 bucks because he said that it was diseased and he didn't think it would live.
I don't know.
I don't.
I can't get a shot
I,
of it.
you
I'd
know,
have to get it from
yeah,
it.
well, there. It's about probably 40 feet tall. And this is the experiment that we at least been doing. And we're going to tell the people from Isley's that it worked. Because we asked them that sell these plants, you know, can we prune that? What's it like? Well, yeah, you can. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Well, I tell you what, pruning this thickened this up. I wish we would have did it 10 years ago because this would have been fuller. I mean, it's nice, but it still would have been fuller. These are really thickening up, and we're going to keep pruning the candles off of it, get these branches nice and thick. We like it that way. So, anyway. We talked a little bit on the, I put that landscape in 1980, and it's shown 1980 landscape. Not the best, but the weeping crab I'm going to keep. We just need to prune on it. The shutters you can see, I don't know if you can see them from here. I made those. They're pretty weathered. I think what I might do is we've had them taken on and off when people did the windows and that, and they really kind of abused some of my leaves on it. So I think what I might do is take them off and make some new leaves and put them on so they're colorful, because I kind of stained them and washed them so they're greens and different colors. I
like the gray though.
Yep, they're nice. Anyway, let's show you Chief. Chief's right here.
Chief Joseph is just plain old green right now.
And it's got a little bit of, I think, burn on it from the winter and that. It's got a lot of new growth, but it doesn't look like much, but man, you ought to see how yellow this thing is in the winter.
It's like a cadmium yellow.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And look at Icebreaker. What do you think of this, you guys? Look at the tips on this thing.
Let me get down there.
Isn't that beautiful? And this is a slow grower. We're going to see if we can get some of these in. And that, matter of fact, I'm calling Alan tomorrow and order for next year. And I hope we get some of these in. And they come real small and they're not real cheap. They're very, very expensive because they grow so slow. Now this is a fir. This isn't a pine or a picea or a spruce. This is a fir.
You know what? I think I'm gonna back up, and because a couple nights ago I just saw that, you know, blue stuff. You know, remember when I was telling you from the vegetable garden? I want to walk down that way and talk about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, all right.
I'll let you. I'm going to get up here on the deck and get in position.
Oh, you're going to get your beer?
Yeah, to drink.
Yeah, so this is kind of, we have a rough idea, but a lot of it we're just allowing some flexibility so when something strikes us, that we'll be able to run with it. And so a couple days ago, let's see if we could see. All right. Can't see that fir very well. The Bud was just talking about. That's the one he was talking about down that way. Because got to. But that went in, and then I started noticing the blue. Let's see if I could do this right there. Star juniper, and we have silver mist, and blues there. I thought, oh, okay. Flanking that little landing on the deck. Can you guys see it? Like if we took and made a mass planting of icebreaker fir that he was just talking about, have that really light blue. It's popping in, and then we got the darker blue, kind of teal, and then another light blue. So I was thinking about in this area, a little speckle again too, to kind of like flank the pathway, the vegetable garden pathway. And then maybe we'll do a little something different there. We'd have a dot of blue, and back here a big wad. We get rid of that yellow that you see right by my finger. Have a designing one, and see on this too. Can't see it. Now you can, right in this corner there, right there, is another icebreaker. And so if we had a mass planting of icebreaker there, and then over here, and then those little dots of blue heading up to the vegetable garden, I thought that would look kind of cool. It's part of the fun of gardening,
Yep.
being able to change your plan.
I'm drinking. I got this last week, and it's definitely different. And I think it's not bad. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's from Founders. It's Moss Agave Classica Lime. Now agave is sweet, and I can definitely. It's a little too sweet for me, and I can taste lime in it. It's got a really peculiar aftertaste to it. So, and this is it. Uh, uh,
There you go.
I can show it to you. It's not bad. I mean, it isn't bad, but it isn't one I don't think I'll buy again because that's the problem with there isn't a line in Kugel that I don't like except for the berry one, and it's because it's too sweet. I wish they'd make the grapefruit, and I finally got some info on that with last week. I think I said it last week on our SippinTrip about uh, some info on the grapefruit shandy because they tried some new flavor and it was a flop at the brewery, and so they're gonna. Hopefully, he thinks that they'll reintroduce the grapefruit again. So I'm hoping that's the case. And I just checked tonight because I think I might want to. I'm not going to go on a trip, but I checked tonight. There's a place I like in Chippewa Falls. It's got a little cabin on a lake, and it's nice if you go late in the year because there's nobody there. And I like that. And the best thing about it is that the Line and Kugel Brewery is right there in town. So, anyway.
I got that.
Oh, okay.
Sherry Kennard, she says, we just cut down a big old oak tree. A few years ago, we had to take 2 ash trees down as well. I want to replace with a couple new trees, but was told I have to plant them 6 feet from where previous trees were. Is that true?
Well, it probably depends how big they are.
Yeah.
I mean, and how big a tree you're planting. I'm not 100% sure that that's accurate. I mean, I suppose, like, say it was a white oak and it had the white oak blight, and they would tell you to plant it close to where the old white oak was. That might make sense. The ash with the ash borer, don't plant another ash there. That could make sense to me. But if you wanted to plant something else and you want a big tree like the oak trees, and you wanted something different, try a tulip tree. They're pretty cool. The leaf shape is different on them, or a sweet gum like we've got here. The leaf shape's different on them. They're really cool trees, and you can get a variegated sweet gum too. And if you're looking for those, I know Larry McCormick has both those trees. And
Want me to show a picture of the sweet gum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
Well,
This
you could
is
show them the leaf shape on my
this is it. It does provide great shade.
the leaf shape is unique. It's like a star. The tulip tree looks like a tulip. I don't know if Larry has, and Sherry, if you've got enough room in your yard, and he can access with his tree spade, he may have some big ones growing out on his farm. And if he does, bang for your buck. You might have to pay $400 or $500 for a 15 to 20 foot tree, but I tell you what, man, they're well worth that. I mean, to get that big, and the caliper may be close to 3-4 inch caliper on it. If you can transplant it, that's probably about the most you can. Those are different trees. I mean, the maples aren't bad, either, for a tree, but for something big, I just think the tulip trees, Lisa's grandma's got 2 over in the yard over there that are huge. They're 45, 50 feet tall. They're really nice trees. Is there any more questions on stuff before I continue?
Nope, just comments.
Okay, cool. Well, it's
looking good.
4th of July week. Am I looking good or the edging?
No, the yard, not you.
Come on, you guys. Is it me or what? I got the tan going on.
You got the farmer tan.
I do not. Bullshit. I got cut off. No, farmer tan is when it's here and you lift it up and it's white. There's no white there.
Did I tell you that Aaron's watching?
Aaron Peterson.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron. Hope everything's all right down in Florida.
Jackie Moore's with us too. Deb
Hi.
Conklin.
Hey, Deb. Tell Ron I said hi.
Yeah.
Weekend's supposed to be hot. You know, it's 4th of July holiday, so be safe. It's supposed to be real hot and humid. So
Not like tonight.
No, tonight's supposed to be
beautiful.
nice. Yeah, tonight's beautiful. And we're probably going to work in the edging, which is great over there because it's going to be all shade. You know, we're going to work on getting that edging done. We got to work on getting maybe we'll work out there early before the sun hits, getting that pathways down for our vegetable garden.
Hey, Linda Sue Brown's with us.
What? I think she was.
Normally, yeah. Lately though, she's been watching Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
And Diane, she's coming to your rescue. She said, "You're looking good too, bud."
Thank you, Diane. I powdered myself before we were on, even though I got dirty.
Oh.
But today was fun. I got a couple stories. So all the kids were working at the shop today. We had shop cleanup day. Next Friday is the same thing because we're trying to clean up the grounds. I mean, last year, normally when we had our music festival, you know, we would start cleaning the grounds and mulching and stuff like that. Well, last year we did nothing. I mean, we cleaned some, but we did not do much. And it showed. And man, I tell you what, when Lisa goes up and looks on the other side of the shade structure,
Am I gonna be happy?
oh my gosh, when we cleaned that out, I had Quinn. There was dead stuff in there. I just said saw it, and we limbed the red bud up so you can see under, and we just took everything out. It's just the red bud and
That's great.
And it really looks nice. And then the cut leaf beech that's down from that, you know, we just cleaned it all up and mulched under it. So there's some nice things that happened today. The kids were there. Anyway, I got pizza for lunch. I got 4 large pizzas. And I told them, I said, I better have some for me to eat because I said, I know how you guys eat. And they go, well, you better get some first before you give them to us. So anyway, I sat the pizzas out, and so everybody took a break, and we're all sitting around eating pizza and talking. And I can't remember what was said, but I was talking about some stuff at Newman because all these kids are from Newman. And probably some of the stories I shouldn't be telling them. But and they laugh, and I think they probably think it's like, oh man, you know, here we go, another Bud story. But anyway, I said something about this guy looked like Herman Munster. The kids kind of, nobody said anything, and then one of them goes, who's Herman Munster? And I'm just like, I freaked out. I'm going like, what do you mean, who's Herman Munster? The Munsters? The kids had no clue. And then Jay came to the defense. He goes, Bud, he said, they don't know. And I said, do you guys know who the Addams family? Yeah. And I go, well, there was a remake of that. And then Jay brought up, like, you know what? There's never been a remake of the Munsters. And that's true. So anyway, I told him, I said, when you go home, I said, you got to Google Herman Munster. And then we started talking a little bit about music. And I accused the 2 boys that are driving the red truck that I'm in about changing the radio station that's on there. And I don't know how it, Jay brought up something about Leonard Skinner's siblings playing, forming a group and playing music, and he said they're really pretty good. And I looked at the kids, I go, do you know who Leonard Skinner is? And they were all just like, so the kids had no clue. So I told them their mission tonight was to go home or get on their phones and Google Leonard Skinner so they knew who it was. And then I said, do you guys know who Jimi Hendrix is? Oh, yeah. I said, okay. I said, well, okay. I said, I just wondered if, you know, you guys knew some of the stuff. But it's just kind of funny how generational that you assume stuff. But you know what? I heard them kids talking when I was inside with Jay and Quinn and that. They're talking about movies and stuff like that. So they are interacting with the grandpa generation, I'll call them, because that's what Jay and I are. The grandpa generation. There is some crossover there, but we've got to get these kids educated. So it's funny, and the kids have absolutely worked out great. I can't say enough for Ansley, Connor, Owen, Jared, and Thomas. I mean, they're great kids. They all have a different sense. They all have They're little things at the shop. And Owen and Connor, when they have their mask on, they're not fully. About another 7, 8 days, they'll be fully vaccinated. They got their second shot, so the boys are wearing their masks. But I'm telling you what, when those two boys put their mask up from here up, they look the same. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many times I'm talking. I go Connor, and all of a sudden I look and I go, damn it! I go, it's Owen, isn't it? And he goes, yeah. And I just can't. I go, you guys need to freaking put an O and a C on your freaking head or something. But anyway, so
Hey, Carol's got a question.
Sure.
She said, do you know who Jason Derulo is?
No. Never heard of him.
Mm-mm.
So who is he? Enlighten me. But anyway, the kids, I'm just saying enough. And I get to go next week. Connor was asking me when we were working. I was working with him a little bit. I had to do some drawings, but I tried to go out there a little bit and interact with him and work with him. But Connor said his dad was asking about, a stone wall or whatever, if you showed us how to do it, Owen and I how to do it, and then I could show my dad how to do it and that. And I said, well, and he was asking a lot of questions, and I said, well, does your dad want me to come and look at the area? He goes, well, he said something about it, but I didn't know how busy you were. I said, no, I can. So I asked him, I said, ask your dad if next Thursday night is okay. And I said, does your dad drink beer? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, you tell him it's going to cost him a cold beer for me to come out, and I'll look at the area, and then we can discuss maybe what kind of stone to lay. But if it's more of a retaining wall thing and cut, if Denny Beck gets the job that I took him to, I might send Connor and Owen to help Denny to learn.
Oh, you have just now been Google challenged. First off, Stuart says you don't know who Jason Derulo is because you're old. But then Carol says he sings a little Latin type music. Google him. So that's your Mighty Mouse mission for tonight. You send the kids on a Google mission, then you have a Google mission.
I will Google him.
Then maybe you could talk to them about Jason Derulo.
It's probably music that I won't enjoy. Maybe I will.
Latin type music.
Really about the and I don't know if it's the generation's music or whatever, but probably the only person that I've really liked in the last 10 years that has come out, and I like his voice, I like his style, and that is Jack White. I really like listening to his music and stuff like that. I think he's a very good guitar player, and him and his sister together in the White Stripes, I really like them. And I also like, Quinn turned me on to Blink 182. This is old. I mean, I'm talking back in the when he was in high school. I like Blink 182.
Oh, she says he's got a new song. It's called Take You Dancing. Kind of like what you were doing earlier. Maybe you could do a little Latin thing. Yeah? No?
No.
Huh.
Thank you.
Huh.
Oh, you mean like Gloria Glitter out and does the
tango.
Tango?
Yeah. Gloria does the tango.
You know what I was going to watch last night? Lisa got me, let me show you these. And I tell you what, you wouldn't believe how much I've used these in the last day. But are they Apple?
Yes, they're the what are they called?
AirPods.
AirPods.
Anyway, I can, like, if Lisa calls me on the phone, or my phone rings, it says, do you want to answer? And I say yes. I can answer my phone and be hands-free. So I really, really like them. And this morning, here's story number 2. This morning, I'm downtown spraying at 5 o'clock, about 5:15 in the morning, and I'm spraying. I'm parked in, I call it Grummer's parking lot, excuse me. Grummer's parking lot. Well, I leave my van door open because the water, I have watering jugs and stuff, and everything's there. So I'm spraying, and then when I have to come back, I can just, get it out. Well, I was in Grummer's lot, and then went over to the Y lot, which is right across the street, and sprayed. And then I had spray left, so I decided to go up First Avenue a little bit. And the police came around the corner, and I waved at them, and they waved at me, and I said hi, And I came around Midland Bank, and I was coming back in front of like the Little Chocolatier and Becky Murray's, Merle Norman, and that. And Lisa called me, and so I'm like, all right. I go, yes, and so we're talking, I'm chit-chatting. Well, I walk across the street and I look up, and the cops are all over my van because the door's open and the van's abandoned in the parking lot at like 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So they're casing the joint, and I go, I gotta let you go because I said, the police are casing my van. So I yelled at him. I go, hey, I go, that's mine. I just left the door open because I'm spraying. And that, oh, we wondered what's going on because there's nobody here and the door's open. We couldn't figure out. I'm sure they ran the plates and had my whole name and history and what size pants I wear and shoe size and everything. So anyway, I've had quite a interesting history of being downtown early in the morning with police. Last year, was it last year, Lisa, or was it the year before?
Are you talking about the shrubs?
No, Meads.
The what?
Meads Bike Shop.
Last year maybe.
Okay, I'm in Grummer's parking lot again, and all these cops are just swarming the place, and I'm just like, I wonder what's going on. And I had walked out front, never looking at the front of Meads. I walked down Locust Street, and then I came back at Grummer's, and I was spraying and that. And I asked somebody what's going on. They go, oh, the bike shop got broken into. I go, oh, okay. Well, and then I went from there to, I call it the Coliseum or the cop shop parking lot to spray. And I was spraying, and two squad pulled up. And they go, hey, can we talk to you? And I go, yeah. And they go, you were down by the bike shop and that. Did you see anything or that when you were spraying? I go, no. I didn't even notice that the front window was busted out, of the shop.
John's got a question.
Okay.
Very serious question about the cops and your van.
All right.
They didn't find your stash in the van, did they?
No.
God.
Anyway,
stash of jugs.
so the cops, were questioning me about Me's bike shop. So fast forward to a week later, I'm downtown spraying in County Market Plaza, and all of a sudden, all the cops are all over the place by Dynasty Restaurant, and Dynasty Restaurant got broken into, and I'm down there spraying again. So I called Brad from the city, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to be in trouble or not, but I go, this is 2 weeks in a row that the cops were downtown, the places got broken into, and I was down there spraying. So I said, I kind of got a cop complex about being downtown early in the morning. So
none of this is flying with anybody.
Oh, I know. What
Stuart said you do look kind of suspicious.
Stuart, you're old. You can't see. Go get your Geritol and go to bed. It's past your bedtime. It's 7:15. You old are supposed to be in bed with your Depends on.
God. Poor Stuart.
I was nice to him a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And when he stopped this past weekend to pick up his dollars that I got him for we're going to go to he has a rendezvous on the 7th, Quinn's birthday.
Yeah.
And we're going to go see him. I think it's an outside thing, so I think we feel pretty confident about doing that. But on another note, a little bit more not funny or solemn or whatever, I showed you the Douglas fir back how small the trunk was. Well, there's a story behind that tree. I graduated from college in 79, 80, and the very first landscape job I ever did, I did on a brand new home in Hickory Hills that was built, and it was built by Kenny and Pat McCaslin. A few guys from around the area know that Kenny passed away about 3 days ago. But anyway, I showed him the design, and stuff like that, and Kenny says, well, let's do it. And I spent the entire summer, working full time, so I'd get off work and I'd go out there, at like 5 o'clock at night and work till 8, and I had dinner with the family. I mean, Pat, Lori, Tim, and Kenny. I got to know them. I mean, I was there almost every night of the week for that summer. And Kenny and I'd say we got real close. I mean, we went and picked up shrubs and stuff together for the landscape job. We couldn't find him here, so we went to Rockford. And but Kenny talked to me all the time, and talked to me not just about like the landscape design, but talked to me about the business and about how he treated people and stuff like that. And probably about 8 years ago, we were landscaping real close to Kenny and Pat's little condo or little place that they had. They had moved from Hickory Hills, and he was sitting in the garage, and Quinn and I got done at the house, and I told Quinn, I said, well, he said, where are we going to go? I said, we can go back to the shop, and I said, I got to go over here and talk to this guy. I said, I want to talk to Kenny, and I saw him in the garage, and I walked up, and he goes, buddy, and I said, hey, Kenny. So I pulled a chair up, and I was real happy I got to sit and talk with him, because I told him, I said, I owe you a lot. I said, I listened to what you said to me. I really did. I really appreciate you talking with me and guiding me, and I a lot about what he talked about in the way he ran his business and treated his employees and stuff a lot, in how when starting Distinctive Gardens, how I wanted to do the same. And I hope, I probably haven't been perfect, and I'm sure Kenny wasn't perfect either, but I credit him with a lot, taking me under his wing, a brand new kid. I think back at the landscape now I did at his house, it sucked. It was my first landscape job. I mean, I would have done stuff completely different than that. But it did look nice. I'm not saying it didn't look nice, but it just, I do stuff different. But he believed in, he took a kid that, hell, I hadn't done shit. I just got out of college and was starting off and doing stuff and spent a summer with him. So I owe Kenny a lot. And I'm to Tim and Pat and Lori, I'm real sorry about him passing, and I know he wasn't in the best of health and that, so it's probably for the better. But Kenny was a good guy. He treated me fair and square, and I owe him a lot. So
That's nice.
that's my Kenny McCaskill story.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out. They've been chit chatting on the thread, asking Stuart how old he is.
He's so old that dinosaurs were there before him.
And then Stuart, to answer your question, Doc says that I can stay up until 2100 hours.
I don't know what that is.
I gotta take it, subtract 9. Is it 9 o'clock? I think it's 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. I'm still slow at military time.
We're not on military time. This is regular time. It's just like metric. We don't do metric. We don't do military time. It's regular time.
Well, Linda said she's 74 and Stuart's 70.
Yeah, see, Stuart, Linda does a lot more shit than you do, and she's older than you.
Oh, dear.
Stuart's just, I don't know, he's mentally challenged.
Frank Garcia says 9. So
Yeah.
you know that he's 9?
Yeah, I know Frank. Frank and I went to school together.
Okay. He's 9. I'm about 11.
I'm about 9.
You're about
Sometimes.
5. You're about 5.
Sometimes I'm 8 o'clock. And
Okay, this is bedtime.
yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking people are just being silly about their age.
No. This is about bedtime. Lisa, Frank's 9 o'clock, and I'm saying the same
I'm a
thing.
10 o'clocker. I still feel like I'm about 11-year-old, and I still think that you're a 5-year-old. So
Why?
all of it holds true, even
Why?
if I was off topic.
Well, why am I a 5-year-old?
Because you ask questions like that. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
it was funny. I took Mr. Wiggles with me up to the shop on Wednesday. I had the seat in the truck, and I knew I was going to have to take stuff up there, so I messaged Haley and go, hey, does Buddy Boy want to go up with me? And she goes, oh, he said yes. So when I went over and picked him up, she goes, he's trying to sleep, so don't let him sleep. I said, no problem. That little shit never shut his mouth from the time I put him in that car seat till the time we went up to the shop. He was asking me so many questions about Joe Reaver's farm. Where's he at? Is this Joe's field? Because he knows Joe has a farm. Well, where's his farm at? And stuff. So he remembers Joe, and he remembers because he got to see chickens, turkeys, ducks, geese, and peacocks at the farm. So he was absolutely thrilled. Joe took him around and showed him all this stuff. So I told him next time we go up, we'll stop by and say hi to Joe. So, and I think Joe and Margot like him coming out too. They like kids, so.
Yep. Yeah, Stuart, if you and Marianne are doing the farmer's market tomorrow, swing by for coffee.
Yeah.
That was
fun last time.
That was fun last week.
Because I got, one of the things I didn't say too is I got a hold of Alan Craig, and he is our sales rep for where we get all these evergreens from. And I got to call him back tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. He told me to call him. He had a meeting today, so he told me he couldn't really talk with me. And what we're hoping to do once we get the garden done, and we might have like an evergreen evening in the garden, we want to have Alan here also, if he can make it. He lives in Iowa. If he can make it and kind of help us with the people and stuff coming to the yard and looking at the evergreens and stuff, and hopefully we can get stuff. You know, it's the same thing everybody's been dealing with. Supply right now is really kind of hard to get on stuff, and in our industry is no different. So, are there questions, more questions, or anything?
No, they're just chit chatting about age and stuff. Linda says we have no choice when born. She said I'm learning something new every day.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
never stop learning, do you,
Nope.
Linda?
Nope. Nope. Stuart gave us the okie dokie
Okay.
if they do swing by
Okay,
tomorrow. So,
that'll be nice.
anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's about it for
Happy
tonight.
4th.
Yeah, happy 4th of July. Be safe. Remember that the animals don't like the fireworks. I mean, I know that people want to enjoy things and stuff like that, and things. Sparklers don't make noise, so you know the dogs and that do suffer. I had two collies. Shayna absolutely tried to crawl under the bed. She was definitely scared
Mm.
of the fireworks. So
Well, John has queued us up.
okay, John.
All right.
Stay safe, everybody. Have a happy 4th and peace. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great weekend, you guys.
Take care.
4th of July.
Bye.
Peace and love, all of you guys. We'll see ya.
See ya.
Okay. There we go.
That's a pretty good one.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was nice.